Hello, all of those people born under the strong sun's moon. This is your reading for July. So, those people born under the strong sun's moon, or people born between 6/21 and 7/22. That means you, Cancerians, last but not least, not at all, not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm gonna read a medicine wheel for you all for the month of July. I'm also going to read from the tarot, the World Spirit Tarot, and then we are going to wind this thing up with Sacred Rebels by Alana Fairchild. So I'll go ahead and get started, and I'm going to be pulling a animal card for your center, just so that we can get centered and see where you are, see where your energy is, what behaviors, habits, thoughts come to mind, or just your way of being, how you need to be in the month of July. So we've got the chameleon spirit. That's about being adaptable and adapt to your surroundings, paying attention to your surroundings and blending in. Now, this isn't about being fake. I want to be clear about that, because sometimes when we think about chameleon energy, we think about people being fake, or they're switching and changing depending on the weather and who they're with and that kind of thing. But the chameleon is really about being able to adapt effectively in your environment, whatever environment that you're in. And that requires you to be flexible. It requires you to pull from your own personality, and you have a very lively personality. And you're not one-sided anyway. We're not one-sided individuals. We have different aspects of our personality. So don't be afraid to bring different aspects of the personality out, especially in places where you don't think it necessarily belongs. See, that's that sacred rebel in me. I like to stir it up a little bit. So sometimes you might be in an environment where you think they may not like your green, but you go on and bring your green out anyway. Or somebody who might think your purple is just way too much. And you be like, I'm going to bring my way too much out anyway, just because it's not necessary for me to hide that. But then it's also knowing how to do it and the way to do it so that it doesn't become too showy. Okay. So, and you can do it or not do it. Like I said, that's just me. I like to stir it up. Some other people might not like to stir it up. Hold on, let me grab the cards. Not only did they drop, but they rolled. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. We have in the south, I'm moving on with the rest of the medicine wheel. We have the medicine wheel has 4 directions: south, west, north, and east, and we read them in that order. And then each card represents a different how it relates to you, I'm going to say. And then each position has its own implications, so I'll talk to you about that too. So right now in the south position, which is where we have lessons of growth, where we're learning to trust again, where we reach into our childhood, into our early childhood ways. I say before we were tainted and indoctrinated. You've got the fire. So you're learning where your passions are, Cancer. You're looking for what moves you and what fuels you. It comes from your heart. It always comes from a heart space. But when you are looking for outside motivation, you need to go to where you are motivated within, which is where your heart is. And then once your heart speaks to you about that, then you start looking for it on the outside. So don't look for the outside for the inside. You all know that already. But once you tap into that inner fire, then you start looking for the things the situations, the people that represent that fire that you see in yourself. Okay? You're not looking for somebody else's fire, you're looking for your own fire. In the west, which is the looks within place, we have the arrow. The arrow is about your truth. It's about shooting straight. It's about knowing what you're aiming for. having a target and moving toward the target. Now, it sits in the place of the West, which is again where we look within. So if you're trying to hit your target on the outside of yourself, hitting your target could be financial targets, could be work targets, could be relationship targets. These are your goals, these are your objectives that you're trying to meet. Then the place to look again is within the heart space. Look at your past experiences. Look at what your past experiences have taught you so far about yourself. Um, Look at your upbringing. You can look there. You can also connect with your ancestors there. And what you're doing is trying to really hone in on your goals and make sure that the goals that you have set for yourself are actually goals that are aligned with your purpose, that they are goals that are aligned with your inner motivation, what's really truly motivating you from a spirit space, and not getting into a whole lot of extra confusion around that. But the place where you're going to ascertain that information is going to be from your own experiences. You are your own best teacher. Honest to God, you are, because you know what you've done and you know what the outcome has been of some of the choices that you've made. And so now, when you start looking at your goals and your objectives, you can say for yourself, well, I've been having that goal for a long time and it has gotten me nowhere. So maybe I need to adjust my goals. Maybe I need to change my strategy. What worked in the past, what didn't work in the past, and then what's working now and what isn't working now. Make a good assessment. In the North, where we have our wisdom place, it's the magical, mystical shaman. And the shaman is the one that knows how to go into those dark places and bring those dark places into the light. You have to breathe the breath of life into your ideas, into your concepts, into your dreams, into your goals. You're going to have to breathe that into it. And that comes from the spirit. It doesn't come from somebody's outside beliefs or somebody else's vision. Like, we can watch television and see, thousands of different people's goals and aspirations just in the commercials alone. And some of those goals and aspirations we are connected to, and some of them we aren't. Some of those things, those the goals and aspirations of others are not tied to our own. They are not tied to our own alignment. And so that's where you being the shaman of your own life becomes really important, because you don't want to get distracted by all this outside stuff that may be creeping up, and it is there. I think that we have done lots of cleansing and clearing out during the global health crisis, but there are still people that are going to try to attach to the old ways. And you've got to be super aware of that. You got to be really aware of that, making sure you're not getting caught up. All right, so the East position, which is the place of new beginnings, we have the child. And I think that that's really, really powerful, in that you are finding your inner power and your inner fire from the place of your childhood. So going back and finding your truths, being able to get to the darker sides of that and to breathe life into your vision is really going to give you a childlike image and a childlike perspective moving forward, which is great, because that's where you have this joie de vivre, and this is where you can just embark on new things without being afraid or without having preconceived notions about people and stuff and things. And you can really be free to grow when you are like a child. So tap into your inner child. It's about playing, making sure to include play in your daily activity, or at least your weekly activity. We're all at work in one way or the other, but we need to be at play as well, because that play space is going to is going to help you tap into that inner child. I always tell people the best way to connect to your inner child is if you can go find those old toys you used to play with, or something like it, I don't know, Rubik's Cubes or whatever it is, Monopoly and puzzles, or I don't know, old cartoons you used to watch when you were a kid, or old television shows. It really can put you in, take you back to a positive space. It can. Sometimes you go and look at those old TV shows and you be like, oh, it's depressing as heck. So watch the good shows. All right, tarot. We're starting out with the Six of Pentacles here. Six of Pentacles um, is about those resources. It's about having resources. Those resources may come from outside of you. So don't be afraid to be in a position to receive. For those of you who are in a position to give, then by all means do that. We've got the Ten of Cups here, which is about an emotional ideal. This is about, having all of the creature comforts and the things that make you feel good, making good connections, and having friends that you can rely on, having a good support system. This is a feeling area with the cup. So it's not just money and stuff and things. It's really about contentment and having a sense of contentment. Here's your card here, Ace of Cups, with Cancer being the moon sign. Then water and cups and the moon become very important, following your intuition, trusting your feelings, trusting your emotions. I'm seeing here that you may be going through the fire a little bit, maybe going through a few tough times. There may be some things popping up in July that you're going to have to tackle, but that's the reason why you need your support system in place, and that's also why you need to be clear and examine what it is that is going to make you feel content. And tapping into that, I will say with this, connect to your moon, your new moon and your full moon times. Make sure you're doing your rituals, your baths, etc. around that time, because that's what's going to help you move through this period in July a little with a little more clarity of vision. Remain true to yourself. Keep your mind focused on what the bottom line is for you, what your bottom line truth is. What's the most important thing? Thinking about your values and stepping out on it. But it's good to know them first. Know them first. And then we have the Sage of Swords here. So it looks like to me, Cancer, you're really moving your way from this feeling space into a thinking space. And then what that means for me is that once you have intuitively processed your the scope and sequence over the next month or two, like once you have gotten in touch with your feelings and once you have intuitively understood your alignment, your purpose, then you're going to go through this little thing right here, this little period of a little friction. But that's in preparation for you to go into this space. Now, this space is the mind space. This is where you're going to have to use your logic, delineate some things, analyze some things, and then lay some foundation work for what comes next for you. And that what comes next for you is going to be from this work. What's next for you is this. What this is how you plan to execute it, and how you plan to make sure that what you most desire, what you most need to do, what is in alignment with your true nature, is your primary focus, and that everything that you're thinking about and the plans that you're making align with that, or are in alignment with that. And that's where you're going to be using more of your logic space. That's going to be toward the end of the month. The middle of the month is when you can expect this it's this right here is like a few little complications, but really the complications or the 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 little blocks or the little difficulties that you're going through, it really is sort of to test your resolve about what it is that you feel so empowered about or what you feel moved to do. It's almost like to see if you really really are, about that life, So, as long as you remain committed to your heart space, as long as you remain committed to this, then it'll just be like, you know what? Come on, bring it, because I already know what I want. You can try to make me question this, but guess what? I already know what I want. And I'm not getting ready to back up off of it, And I have the plans to carry it out, so it won't even really be that much of a distraction for you. That's the thing. Sometimes you gotta be ready. Because when you make a commitment to something, once you say, oh, this is what I really want to do, it's going to be somebody that's going to come along to make you question that, just to see if you really know, if you know that you know what you're talking about. But you know what you're talking about because you already felt it. So when it comes along, it'll be like, I see you. I see you coming, trying to make me question what I just said a week ago. Or what I said yesterday, because sometimes it's coming quick now. Sometimes you say some stuff and within 15, 20 minutes there's somebody coming to make you wonder if what you just said was what you really meant. Okay? So, tower cards, break down that business, Don't go climbing up into places you don't know you don't need to go. Don't go try to reach the rafters. It's not necessary. Make sure that the foundation that you're building is based on your truth, based on your alignment, and then you don't have to worry about this right here. You don't have to worry about what catastrophes may come, the what ifs and all of that kind of stuff. You won't need to because you're following your spirit. So, if there are any of these that come along with this Nine of Wands, it's only because it wasn't meant to be there anyway. It wasn't something that was going to advance your script, and it wasn't something that was going to ignite your fire or keep your fire burning. Period. All right, anything else for Cancer people for the month of July? All right. That is that. And the last card for the day will come from Alana Fairchild, Sacred Rebels. We're just pulling one card today for you. This is just to kind of round you out, give you a positive affirmation for July for Cancer, whichever one Cancer needs. Thank you. Diving for the light. Woo! I love that. Diving for the light. That's not something we think. We think when we're diving, then we are going into the dark. But you have to go into the dark to get to the light. So you're diving for the light. I'm seeing your third eye chakra here and your crown budding and growing new layers. I'm seeing the power of the ocean. So ocean, water, Cancer, moon, that's your territory. And I'm also seeing this being, it's like turning on your regal nature from this. This is going to turn your regal nature up a notch. That's when you're going to have to show that purple. Okay. How brave you are. You are diving for light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly, in that which is blissful, sweet, loving, and kind. To look for the light in that which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may not feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, yet you will have taken this wise challenge on from deep within your soul. Your innermost being has evoked this situation into your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life and become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. The Oracle of Divine Diving for Light speaks of a time when you are called into darkness through life circumstances. See, that's that fire. That fire with gasoline draws on card. Um, it calls you into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. The darkness may be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety. There may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness might be generally accepted and socially acknowledged because there is a socially acceptable or obvious reason for it, such as death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You might not need a reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Just know that you are actually on track and right where you need to be. Our creative process and our spiritual path go through a similar turning of the wheel. Progress. This is spring and summer in seasons of our soul as well as in the earthly ones. There is the autumn harvest and there is the death inherent in winter when energy is concentrated and pulled within to seek out the darkness where it can rest, regenerate, and simply be until the time is right for new life, energy, and creative inspiration to burst forth. When diving for light, one must be willing to bear the darkness and understand it has a purpose, much like winter does upon the earth. It is not in error or through lack of consciousness that you are here now. It is a testament to your spiritual growth and creative process, not a sign that they are lacking or stalling. The healing process will help you with your inward plunging and to successfully navigate it. So, I will leave you with that word, Cancer, for July. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a fantastic July. And if you need to reach out for a deeper dive, you know where to find me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. And I hope you have a fabulous life.